it's going to be difficult for anyone to keep up with City and Liverpool. You know, those two teams, in my opinion, have strengthened as well. Liverpool unfortunately lost Mane, who is incredible, vital cog in that wheel. But look, they've had a couple of players that have left. They've had a few players that have left. They've been linked with a couple of really, really good players. You know, De Ligt, Rafinha, Sterling as well, would be three great acquisitions. Defensively, I think, is where their main problems lay, and I think that's, if anywhere, is going to be the area that they're going to need to improve and get players in if they want to challenge those two teams I mentioned before. You know, you look at Rudiger, you look at is Christensen, is he still there? He left? He's
going to be going, yeah.
He's going to be going as well. So, you know, Thiago Silva's not getting any younger. Three very, very vital, important players there. So they have to improve the players that they've lost. They have to get better players in, good players in. But it's going to be tough because they've made wholesale changes upstairs as well. Yeah. Literally all the vital, important people have been shown the door.
Yeah, Marina Granovskaya has gone. Bruce Buck, the former chairman, Petr Cech, who was pretty much technical director, leaving the club as well. But one of the positive signs for me, when you look at Todd Burley, the new chairman, and what he's doing in the transfer window, is there seems to be a lot of money on the table available to spend. I saw the links to Matthias de Ligt at Juventus, but it looked like about 70 million would be needed to prize him away.
If you're lucky. I mean, his release clause is 102 million.
Yeah, but I don't think they're going to need to go to release clause.
Well, they probably won't need to go to release clause, but he's 22 years of age with a lot of time left on his contract, so they're going to have to go higher. If I'm Juventus, what am I going to give him away to Chelsea for? I'm going to be demanding top dollar. That's why they have these big release clauses. So I don't think he's going to be heading there on the cheap. Well, I was going to say on Chelsea's terms. I think he'll be heading there on Juventus's terms if he is to leave at all. The interesting thing about Chelsea is, on the face of it, I would agree that as far as the club are concerned, they have lost a lot of expertise.
Lukaku as well. Sorry, I forgot to.
And they've obviously lost as well. Yep. But then on the flip side of that, you know, has there been that much expertise in terms of recruitment in the last couple of years? Rudiger's left for Real Madrid on a free transfer. Andreas Christensen has left on a free transfer for Barcelona. You've got Lukaku, they spent £100 million on him, and he's gone back to Inter. 12 months later, he's gone back to Inter Milan on loan. You know, how much? You got Kepa, £72 million. He can't get a regular first team game. You've got Timo Werner, who can't score goals, £45 million. Hakim Ziyech can't get a regular game, £40-odd million.
Havertz, 70 plus.
Well, Havertz,
I'm not. Sorry,
he's almost an exception.
He scored the winning goal in the Champions League final.
It doesn't matter. With respect, he hasn't shown himself to be a £70 million player yet.
Listen, that's your opinion. I'm welcome
do you think he has? I think he's a very good player.
How much would you say?
I do think he's a very good player. 50 million. I mean, that's a very good player, isn't it?
I think Kai Havertz
isn't it? I mean, I'm not talking the guy down, but he hasn't yet shown himself to be a £71 million player, in my opinion.
No, but he hasn't shown himself to be a player who can play as a false nine, who can
adapt.
Still potential.
I think he's a terrific player.
Yeah, he's a very good player, but he's still. I'm talking about, to reach that, we're talking about potential. What they paid for was potential, and we have not yet seen a player that they believed he would be when they bought him.
He scored the winning goal in the Champions League final.
I don't understand what that means.
Well, that means that
he scored a goal. We know he's a good footballer.
Well, you can play at the highest level of club football, cope with the pressure, cope with the demands of being... Listen, you're a forward. You know how difficult it is to be able...
I found it quite easy, but no, I know what you mean.
With all due respect, he cost 71 million. He's been at the club for a couple of years. If they start with him through the middle as their number 9, if you like, it might be a false 9, but as their main central goal threat, do you think they'll get close to winning the league, do you?
No, but he wasn't signed.
I want you to just answer the question I asked you.
But you're asking me an irrelevant question. He was not signed as a centre forward.
Okay, but that's the place that he's played best in the Chelsea team.
But he was not signed as a centre forward.
So that's even worse then.
Not really, because...
So he hasn't performed in the position that he was bought to play in. And you think that's a success, do you?
I'm telling you that he has played in a manner that has justified the investment in him, and shown that there is the promise of more
So you
ability
agree?
to come.
That's exactly
from him.
what.
No,
so
you're
do
just
you
playing
agree
with
me?
words. The fact is that he has justified the investment in him when other players at the football club haven't.
Well, I said that the money was for potential, and you've 2 minutes later turned around and said it's for promise, and you said I'm the one playing with words.
Listen, it's not. No. Listen, when you invest in young players, then by definition, you are investing in the fact that they will improve as they get older. But the inference from what you were saying about Havertz is that he didn't justify the outlay. And the guy has scored the decisive goal in the Champions League final against Manchester City.
What I said was he hasn't yet shown himself to be a £71 million player.
Well, that's your opinion.
Again, my humble opinion. Let's speak to the striker about it. What do you think about Kai Havertz? If he is to be the player that replaces Lukaku in terms of being the main forward at Chelsea next year, how successful do you think they will be?
Well, I think it lays at more than just his door. You know, you have to look at Chelsea as a football team. Liverpool, they're not just Mo Salah. They're not just Sadio Mane. Man City are not just Kevin De Bruyne or whoever else it may be. It's built around the teams. It's built around the connection and the understanding from every single one of those players to work together as a team, as a unit. Now, with Kai Havertz, I'm a huge admirer of his. I think, again, I agree with what both of you say to an extent as well.
Don't sit on the fence. You agree with me.
I do. But I don't want Darren, I don't want you to come for me. But I don't think he's built to be a number 9. That's not his natural position. It's not where he's happy. He's healthy. That's not where we see the best of him. He works better when he's working alongside somebody or just off them as a number 10. However, when you're at a club like the size of Chelsea, they've got players like I've written down a few names: Mason Mount, Havertz, Pulisic, Conor Gallagher's coming back from Crystal Palace as well. Timo Werner, obviously, he's on the cusp. Ziyech, he's on the cusp as well. All of those players, they could, in essence, play through the middle, or they could play on the left or on the right. There's so many moving parts that you just need to find the right formula to get them to work perfectly as a team together. We saw it with Man City a couple of seasons ago with Pep Guardiola playing with the false 9. We've seen it with a number of teams now. They don't necessarily need that out-and-out number 9. They play with players that can rotate, and it makes it extremely difficult for the opposition defenders to pick them up, to mark them and shut those spaces down.
And I think this is part of the issue that I remember after a Champions League game when Thomas Tuchel had us in for a press conference, and he was talking about why he preferred Lukaku to Havertz. And he was saying that it isn't just about the fact that he can score important goals, but it's about the fact that he can draw other people into the play. His industry is first class.
Which you said preferred Lukaku to Havertz. Do you mean the other way around?
No.
Preferred Havertz to Lukaku,
yes,
yeah?
Thank you. Preferred Havertz to Lukaku, because we were asking him, he hasn't played. And he was very open about the fact that he got more from Havertz in that false 9 position. And they were much more fluid in attack. As a team, and he was able to bring far more people into the play than Lukaku was able to. Lukaku wanted it to feet. Havertz was making runs into channels that was allowing the team to kind of interchange positions. And, you really did go into a lot of depth about why he felt he was right to make that decision. And he stood by it. And this is what I mean. With Havertz, there is so much more. He's not as one-dimensional in some respects as Lukaku showed himself to be with his refusal to adapt to the way that Chelsea play. Yes, there's some culpability as far as Chelsea are concerned as well, but I think Havertz absolutely was worth the money that they invested in him.
Kick-off with Hugh Wozencroft, Tuesday to Thursday night, 7 till 10. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.